So welcome to the first Behind the Stream podcast. I am Flashover109. Our first guest on the inaugural episode where we talk to streamers about what makes them tick, about what's behind them. Today is going to be none other than Pipeline affiliate, military veteran with multiple tours to Afghanistan, full-time content creator who streams a combination of Sea of Thieves, GTA RP with me and my characters, and he plans to transition into Ashes of Creation as it gets closer to release. He's also a recipient of the Pipeline Creator Scholarship and most recent member of the Wounded Warrior Project Stream to Serve team. He is the Forge Master. It is IronSmithy. Welcome, IronSmithy. How are you? Great to see you.
Thank you so much, Flash. It's a pleasure to be here. Honored to be your first guest on your podcast.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anybody else I wanted to have right here on the as first guest. I think that's a big deal. So we're going to jump right into some questions. This should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Tell me what do you want folks to know about Smithy? I mean, with so much content you have going out there, I think everybody does know what what you're about, but tell me what you want folks to know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the age-old question, isn't it? So, I mean, I'm a full-time content creator, like you already said. I'm a military veteran, a couple tours overseas to Afghanistan. I do run a family-friendly stream, however, when I'm not playing GTA RP, because it's a little bit harder to control all the characters on GTA RP, but anything else that I play, I'm family-friendly, and I always try to keep my own characters pretty PG in all their actions. Yeah, I mean, we're sort of everywhere. We're on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, you name it, we're doing it. But the Forge family is all about inclusiveness and family and sort of supporting one another through all these crazy times that we're going through in the world. And it's a little bit about me and my community, the Forge.
Yeah, there's some cool people over there. I've been in the Forge for a while now, and you do some crazy things. I saw the bow beard the other night, which was really amazing.
We've done what? So far, we've done tattoos, bow beards, glitter beards, dyed my hair pink and beard. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things going on in the Forge to keep you guys entertained and also raise some money for some amazing causes like WWP, like you said, helping out our Wounded Warriors.
Yep, I totally 100% get behind that too. Mine's firemen, as you can see behind me, and
always
it's a big deal. So we definitely appreciate your service to our sister to the north, the Canadian border there, and we appreciate it. So tell me something that almost nobody agrees with you on.
Oh, this comes down to, I think, the age-old debate. I think the only thing that I probably agree on that a lot of people don't is that, brace yourselves, okay? Pineapples do belong on pizza.
Oh, I knew he was going to go there. I knew he was going to go there. Oh, so I don't really mind it. It's not a choice, but you throw some Canadian bacon in there too.
Yeah, I mean, put some bacon, some pineapple. I mean, double cheese. You're golden. Good to go.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's not bad. What inspires you? And you can't use the cheesy. Not that it's cheesy. You can't use family, but what inspires you? What makes you your best self?
So I'd have to say for this, it's surrounding myself with the right people in the same space. So since I've been a content creator about a year and a half ago, I've met some amazing people, some amazing content creators of all different sizes that continue to inspire me day in and day out. I've also met some that I have learned and watched from, and I'm like, that's a road I don't want to go down, So I think surrounding yourself with the right people, the right creators, and making those friendships and mentorships and everything like that between those individuals is what makes me be my best self, because you draw inspiration from them. You see them do something, and even though you're not going to copy exactly what they're doing, you might try to take something from their perspective or something that they do and try to integrate it into your own stream in your own way. And I think that's something that has continued to inspire me since I've started, and will continue to inspire me as I continue to go forward, as I meet new creators, as I forge new relationships, and continue down the path through Pipeline and everything like that, and the amazing community that we have formed within the Forge. You know, there's so many people who inspire me, some that aren't even content creators, but just their life stories and stuff like that through the Forge that they have shared with me is just it continues to motivate me to work harder and be there for that community every step of the way.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. I'm as a mentor, you being one of my glorious mentors that I look up to. If I could only get as half as good as you, would be in good shape. So,
stop it, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you have no idea. So, I think we learn off each other, though, and I agree.
Absolutely.
I think surrounding yourself with amazing people is huge. And you know, your brand spanking new community manager is amazing at that. And
I'm very, very grateful,
by the way.
Yeah.
You know, so I agree. You've got an amazing community, and that's something that I can only strive to build. So, so tell me, on the same token, tell me what people seem to misunderstand about you. What do they not get about Smithy that is probably true, but is not, that they don't think is true?
I mean, this is a tough question.
I didn't say.
You know, I try to be pretty much open about everything that I'm going through, whether it's, you know, my mental health and therapy that I'm seeking through like for Veterans Affairs and stuff like that from my time overseas that we started going through recently, or whether it's just talking about my childhood and growing up in that. I think the most misunderstood thing, though, that people don't quite understand, that they have an idea about, but I don't think they fully understand, is how truly accident prone I was growing up. How many scars, broken limbs, you know, been hit by lightning, all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think people truly understand. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I don't think people truly understand the gravity or the thickness of my medical file at the Children's Hospital here in our local town. So yeah, it's I think I've broken pretty much every limb on my body, whether it's being thrown out of a horse, falling out of a vehicle, getting run over by horses, kicked by horses, because I grew up on a horse farm. So I mean, there was I think that's probably the most misunderstood, is just how accident prone I was growing up. And luckily I seem to have grown out of that, knocking on wood here. But yeah, I think that's probably the most misunderstood point on my backstory.
Well, I definitely did not know, and I'm probably the opposite. I probably was pretty graceful growing up, and I'm accident prone now as I've gotten older. Even though I have never, knock on wood, I've never broken anything. So I didn't know that about you. I'll think about that again next time I decide to ride with you in the police car.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
So why did you want to become a streamer? Why? What's the background there? I know everybody loves to play games, but you got to have something.
That's a great question.
Something a little deeper there.
Yeah. So, okay. So obviously it started with gaming. I've been gaming since I was a child. My sister was a gamer as well, and she used to host LAN parties and everything like that at her house. So all like growing up, I was gaming with friends. Right, LAN cables all over the floor, computers everywhere. Yeah, it was great.
Bags of chips,
pulling all-nighters and snacking on chips all day and never having to worry about a thing. Yeah, so that's how it all started. And then, I mean, as time went on and as streaming and content creation started becoming a thing, I remember some of the first streams I watched was like PewDiePie and oh my God, I'm thinking back here, like Swifty over on WoW and Towley and all these other content creators who were creating content like around World of Warcraft. Obviously not PewDiePie, but his name was just everywhere. Sure. When streaming started, and then Ninja broke out and everything like that. And then when I was overseas in Afghanistan, I watched a lot of Stone Mountain. All the guys did, you know, whenever we had some downtime and we were in a location that had some internet, we'd pull up some Stone Mountain videos, get some good laughs in, and enjoy the little downtime that we had. And it was always sort of like this just sort of escape for me. Like when I couldn't be playing myself, I could watch these content creators that would make me laugh and keep me, you know, entertained, like some of my favorite TV shows and stuff like that. And I had a few friends that are like, you know, you're very animated, you're very, you know, sort of hyped all the time and stuff like that. You're always like funny to be around, so why don't you give it a shot? And I'm like, you know, like I'd love to, but it's like that's like the dream. Like you can't make it a reality. Like it's, you know, there's so few people that can ever actually make it happen. And I sort of always just talked myself out of it. And then, but it was always something I would have, you know, I've dreamt of doing. And then go back to, I guess it was 2020, about March of 2020, COVID hits. I'm looking into getting into a game called Last Oasis, and an individual by the name of Christian Bishop, who I ended up in a guild with for Last Oasis, got me into some early access, a content creator early access. We started talking, forming a relationship in that, and he's like, listen, like, if you want to do it, the only way you're going to be able to do it is to hit that go live button, stop sitting on it, and just do it. Like, turn on the stream, see what happens, give it a shot, and go. And he, you know, he motivated me a little bit, and he gave me that kick in the rear end that I needed to hit that go live button the first time. And then since then, I've been hooked. It's been like an addiction. I'm like, I always want to be live. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing behind it too is I know that through my stream and through content creation, that I wanted to be a source of positivity and be able to help people through like creating content, you know, sort of take their mind off of some of the negativity that was going on, especially since I started like right around COVID. And it was just such I mean, we're still going through it right now, but it's just such a crazy time for everybody. And I just wanted to be sort of an escape for people and sort of be able to help them forget about it and laugh a little bit in between and be there to support them and stuff like that. So that was my intent going into it, and my extra motivation paired with Christian sort of being like, just do it, man, like you got it, like just do it. And then we did, and then he introduced me to Pipeline as well. The rest is history, I guess. Now a year and a half later, we're doing it full time. Yeah, so
good.
Very cool.
That's great. That's really awesome. I don't think I'd ever heard that. I know in all the time I've spent in the Forge and in your streams, I don't think I've ever heard that whole story. So yeah, it's always good to hear. Yeah. So I know you're speaking of your Forge. We talked about them a little bit earlier. You know, chock full of just amazing people. And I mean, I could sit here and list, you know, a dozen off the top of my head that have made, some of them have made them into my stream, which make my stream amazing. But quite frankly, your folks, you've built an amazing community. So what's something that that your stream did for a member of your community that you weren't expecting, that it surprised you?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many. There's quite a few things that my community has done, but I think most recently and probably most significantly, obviously with us being, or with myself being retired military, with us being involved with WWP and everything like that, we have a lot of veterans come in, a lot of people who are struggling with mental health and everything like that as well. And recently we had one individual come in that was in a very dark place and was contemplating whether or not they still wanted to be here or not. And my community, my mods and some community members outside of my mod team jumped on it right away, made sure that they were taken care of, got them, you know, help numbers and everything like that. And then I continued to get DMs like 24 hours later, 48 hours later, where their community members were reaching out to this individual, making sure that they were still okay. Found out that they got him in contact with his dad. He was going to visit his dad, and they pulled through. And then on top of that, I think it was about 48 hours later, I got a DM from another member of my community asking if he could get their name, because they were organizing a veteran sort of group play together that had some giveaways and stuff like that, where they wanted to invite him to come and play with them. It was going to be a group of all veterans, and they were going to hook him up with some giveaways and stuff like that as well. to help take care of them. And that all happened. We got them linked up together, and they had a great time. And the individual, to my knowledge, is still thriving right now. So I think that was
Wow.
probably one of the most significant things that has happened in, I'd say, probably the last 30 days. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm over here tearing up, man. It is amazing the power of what we have. And,
it truly
you know,
is.
we think about just playing games and just reaching people, but that's reaching people.
That's
And
powerful stuff. Yeah.
It is. And that's,
And I mean,
you
not
know,
to mention the thousands of dollars we've raised for WWP, you know, paying for so many mental health sessions for soldiers in need. I think combined with my 2 charity streams that we've done, we've raised over $7,000 with every $150 going towards a mental health session for a soldier in need who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it. So, I mean, the Forge really, like, anytime there's somebody in need, the Forge is always there, and they always step up, and it amazes me. It's brought in me to tears more times than I can count. It is something I am so proud of, to have assembled a community that is so selfless, that is so willing to, like, put others' needs before their own. It's amazing, and it shocks me every time.
that is absolutely amazing. And
Yeah.
it's staggering to see the impact of that, because you figure, you know, when I was looking at charities and looking at things just from my side, of course, I ended up settling on the Fallen Firefighters Association, but I looked at the Valhalla Project,
Yep.
which is another military-led project.
Fantastic project.
It still holds a deep, you know, position in my heart because of what those guys do. And you look at the 222 rule that they live by, and it's kind of where it is. And you figure how many people are in your, you know, your community, and then those people reaching out, it really is amazing. So, so good on you, man. That's absolutely amazing. We have to all be a little bit of light in this world, and I think that's a big thing. So, besides dancing in a banana costume, what are you not very good at?
What am I not very good at? I'm not very good at video editing.
Okay,
That's
why we hire those out.
That is one of my weaknesses, and that's why I hired on an editor very early in my streaming journey, because I spent hours and hours and hours trying to edit videos and them coming out like subpar, and I just was never satisfied with them. And so yeah, I looked for an editor early on, recognizing that as my weakness, and realizing that the cost for an editor versus the amount of hours I was spending for subpar quality product would pay for itself. So I took that leap and admitted my weakness in that area and just moved on. But something I would still love to work on, but at this point it is definitely one of my weakest points.
Okay, yeah, and as a matter of fact, you probably don't know this, I've kind of stolen your editor, so or at least part of her. So
Hecade?
yeah,
Yeah.
so she's doing a couple of things for me. So
Nice.
So at some point, you know, we've all made one of those decisions in our lives, if not multiple decisions in our lives, that have kind of resulted in us moving in one direction or another, that are really considered those pivotal moments. When you look back up to this point, and again, I'm gonna pull the wife and the kids out of this.
Yep.
You know, what's your fork in the road? What's moved you in different directions? And I almost want to pull the military out of there, but I think that didn't make it too tough for you.
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna say that's a card. That's where we're going.
I know. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if military's intact, it was definitely that point where I was faced with that final contract to bring me to like 25 years. And it's like, do I stick with the military career, knowing that, you know, like, I got 2 kids and nothing's guaranteed. I could go on, you know, another tour in a couple months, and who knows if I come back to my kids or not. That was like a very pivotal decision for me, where I spent many months sort of going back and forth on, do I want to stay in? Do I want to, you know, retire out at this contract? And if I hadn't have retired when I did, I probably would have never ended up down this content creation journey. So I think that moment, that decision to retire early, was definitely a very pivotal decision that I've made that led to essentially having my dream job. So yeah, I think that would be. Yeah, I mean that was definitely, it was tough though. It was tough because on one hand I had stability, I had a very well-paying job, I had there was a lot of positives to staying in the military. We had a nice house, everything like that, everything was good. We still have a nice house, don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of positives to stay in the military, and making that decision and talking through it with my wife, that we're not supposed to talk about, but talking through with everybody, like it was ultimately the decision that we all agreed on was going to be the best. And then it led us down a few other jobs before we got to content creation and doing Twitch and everything like that. But ultimately led us here. And I think that was probably the biggest pivot that I had made in my life. So,
yeah, no, and none of us make decisions without our spouses anyway. So
yeah.
That was a cheap shot, but that I threw in there to not be able to talk about her. But I, so many people will say, well, it was when I got married, or it was when I had kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's a little too easy. I want to,
Yeah.
Why I want to do the show is to get that,
those hard hitting questions
right down in there. That's right.
Love it.
So with everything you got going on, I know we talked about, Ashes of Creation and all those kind of things. And I'll save that for the last question. But where do you see your content moving towards in the next 5 years? And this can be a specific to your content, or can be a general content creation kind of NFT question also.
Ooh, that's a good question. 5 years is a long ways out, right? A lot can change in 5 years.
Right.
So to put things into perspective, I've been doing this for about a year and a half, a little bit more than that. And we've already changed our focus sort of 3 times now, right? So we started off with Last Oasis. It lasted like 2 or 3 months. It gave us a really, really good start, but then the game started dying off very, very quickly as well, because there was like these superpowers that were just making it unplayable for any new blood to like come into the game and stuff like that. So it started dying off really, really quick, and started becoming unstreamable. Essentially, the viewers went from, tens of thousands to like 2,000 to in the hundreds within like 2 to 3 months. So then we transferred over to Sea of Thieves through a recommendation from one of our guildmate or our community members. Still am doing Sea of Thieves, but now we also see my focus shifting a little bit to GTA RP, which we found a whole new love for, that I never thought I would be streaming or even doing RP, but some of the interactions we've had there has been is so amazing, and given me some like of the craziest moments in gaming that I've ever had. So
I'm still mad at you, by the way.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
Not mad at you. I'll take that up. I'll take that up with sugar.
But it has shifted so much in a year and a half, right? And when I first started till now, like I never thought like I'd see what it is. So 5 years out, who knows what it could be? All I do know is that we do plan on transitioning into some MMORPGs, Ashes of Creation being my primary focus, that I would like to go on. And as long as Ashes of Creation is still thriving and growing and is a proper fit for me in the Forge, then we will hopefully still be playing Ashes of Creation well through 5 years from now, and continuing to get our community involved with us and have a community guild and everything like that is sort of where I'd like to see my content progress through, because I do like involving my community as much as possible. We see it in Sea of Thieves with our community nights. GTA RP, we've tried to bring as many community members in who's willing to do like the whitelist process and stuff. But I always try to get my community involved as much as possible. And that's never going to change, whether it's now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm always going to be community based and community focused. And no matter where that takes us, that's going to be who I am and what I want to do. So I would say that's sort of the main focus for now. I think RP is still going to be a big factor in there, even when we do transition over to Ashes of Creation, because we are always going to need those breaks We can't play the same thing over and over again, 50, 60 hours a week because we do get burnt out. So I think that as long as there is a GTA server that will have us, whether it's GTA 5, 6, 10, whatever it is, that we can RP on and stuff like that, I think you'll always see IronSmithy or one of his characters in some capacity playing that a couple times a week as well.
Good. Yeah. And that was my next question is kind of what's your next big thing, but I think you answered that. That's your next big transition is to move into Ashes of Creation and kind of focus some stuff there.
Absolutely.
I did the same thing. I moved from a Call of Duty kind of Division kind of content that was really saturated, and moved into GTA RP, and it really boosted a lot of everything that I had going on. So it was a big thing. Steel is definitely a pretty straight-laced character, but my new character he's going to be pretty wacky. And I haven't announced him. I haven't talked about him yet, but he's pretty wacky. So still doing EMS and PD. All right, so let's shift gears. Let's move into our lightning round. You ready for this? This is what I've been waiting for. So I'm going to ask you a question. The idea of the lightning round, folks, is I'm going to ask you a question. The idea is to give me an answer as quickly as you can, a word, a phrase, at most a sentence, okay? You got it?
These. Okay, sure.
All right, great. Super Mario or Zelda?
Zelda,
okay. How would you rate your karaoke skills on a scale of 1 to Mariah Carey?
4 or 5. 4.
4
Let's
or
go
5.
4.
Okay, so no Mariah for you.
No.
Okay. So define triskaidekaphobia.
God bless you.
Okay. We'll just skip that one then. This one I expect you to get. So what is the acronym? What does the acronym SCUBA stand for?
The acronym SCUBA.
You did know it was an acronym, right?
No, I did not know it was an acronym.
Okay. All right, so let me back up one question. I'll give you time to think about it. Let me back up one question. Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
Wow.
It's a real thing.
Cool. Learn something new every day.
That's right. You're going to learn this next one too. So the acronym for SCUBA, any ideas?
No.
I cannot believe that, you're...
I feel the urge to Google right now, but I have a feeling you're about to tell me.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
So
okay.
I have heard that before. Okay.
Then what is a CBA? And what's the difference between the two?
SCBA?
That's right.
Seems like a trick question.
It is not a trick question.
Self-contained.
I'll give you a hint.
Uh-huh. Hi?
No.
Oh, what can I not see?
So I'll give you a hint.
Firefighter.
Okay.
So it's just a self-contained breathing apparatus?
There you go. Very good.
Hey!
Okay.
I thought that was too easy.
Nope, that was actually right. The difference between the two is one can be used underwater and one cannot because of the way the regulator works. So I know that was hard. I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there. Is double dipping at a party ever acceptable?
Double dipping at a party? No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Never acceptable.
Would you eat a day old taquito from 7-Eleven?
Was it? there's factors to this, but I mean, yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah. Have you ever?
No.
Okay, good boy. I mean, with as accident prone as you have, that you explained earlier, it might wonder for me. Okay, good. So yeah, man, I appreciate you hanging out with me. That's the last question I got for you. You have been, as always, you and I have we're besties, so we get to talk all the time, but it's been a pleasure and I've learned a lot, So tell everybody how they can connect with you, when you stream, your channels. This is your 30-second advertisement.
Got it. 30 seconds. Okay, so I stream over on twitch.tv/IronSmithy. I basically stream Tuesday through Sunday every week. Wednesdays and Thursdays I stream in the morning. Every other day you can catch me in the evenings from 7:30 p.m. Eastern till 11 p.m. Eastern. And then if you want to catch me on Twitch or Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, it'll be at IronSmithy TV instead. And that is where you can find me.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank everybody for hanging out with us. Please subscribe to the podcast, like it, follow it, all that kind of good stuff. Retweet it. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and Spotify, because me and IronSmithy will be your bestie.
Do all the things.
That. And that is it, my man. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's been a ton of fun, and maybe we might end up with a follow-up episode later on. Who knows?
Yeah, anytime, man. Hit me up. Yeah. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So you guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you again soon on Behind the Stream.